Have you ever thought about the impact of big decisions that you made in your life? How about the small ones or the ones made for you? How would have your life turned out if things went the other way? A movie that has always fascinated me is The Butterfly Effect with Ashton Kutcher. The actual movie was good, not great, but the concept is mind-blowing. Sometimes, a small, seemingly meaningless decision can change everything. Some of the biggest moments in the last century hinged on minor decisions. Little things, like a barber leaving out a copy of Reader's Digest, or a driver taking a wrong turn, sparked a chain of events that changed world leaders and started world wars. The butterfly effect is an often misunderstood phenomenon, wherein a small change in starting conditions can lead to vastly different outcomes. Understanding the butterfly effect can give us a new lens. Welcome to FactFrenzy, your portal for knowledge and fascinating facts. Today, we'll be exploring a rather intriguing topic, namely the butterfly effect. Get comfortable, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and let's dive in. Number 1. Butterfly's wings. A butterfly flapping its wings could theoretically cause a ripple in the air, creating a tropical storm on the other side of the world. Let's say a butterfly flapped its wings in Tokyo. A violent tropical storm hits the Somalian coast over 6,000 miles away a day or two afterward. Although the butterfly can never be directly to blame, according to Lorenz's concept, its flapping wings started the process, which put steps in motion to create the storm. A butterfly flapping its wings could begin the effect, precipitating other events, which in turn shifted others, and so on, to cause the resulting storm in Somalia. Number 2. Accidental antibiotic. In 1928, a scientist, Alexander Fleming, discovered mold growing in an unused petri dish. He noticed dying bacteria near the mold, and on the off chance that closer examination could reveal something, chose not to throw it out. Later, on further investigation, Fleming identified the mold as part of the Penicillium genus, which is effective against pathogens responsible for scarlet fever, pneumonia, and more. He discovered that a mold juice killed the bacteria, and he named this penicillin. Alexander Fleming could have chosen to throw the moldy petri dish out, but his choice to instead investigate further created a butterfly effect that impacted the world. Number 3. Günterskaffe. Günter Schabowski made a mistake when he gave a slightly incorrect answer at a 1989 live TV press conference, announcing changes to East German travel policies. Schabowski had rushed into the press gathering without having had a chance to read the government statement handed to him seconds earlier. On air, he started by reading, "The government now authorizes travel freedom," before a journalist interrupted him, asking when the changes take effect. Instead of pausing to read the statement further, Schabowski gaffed, "As far as I know, right away." Shortly afterward, crowds of East Germans gathered at Berlin Wall border posts, demanding an exit to the west. Fearing a riot, guards opened the border gates, allowing citizens safe passage into West Germany. Schabowski's gaffe began the butterfly effect that brought down the Berlin Wall, with demolition beginning early in the following year. Number 4. Sophie caused World War I and II. Sophie Chotek was married to Archduke Franz Ferdinand, heir to the Austro-Hungarian Empire. The Archduke loved his wife deeply, but custom forbade his own wife to accompany him to official royal ceremonies. Hence, Sophie was left bored and alone most of the time. Knowing his wife was struggling with boredom, the Archduke decided to take an impromptu trip to inspect the Austro-Hungarian military capacity in Bosnia, which was actually just an excuse to take his wife out and relieve her boredom. When invited, Sophie jumped at the chance to go along, and the butterfly effect was in motion. The couple left in an open-top car to Bosnia, with the Archduke enjoying the chance to show his wife off in public. When they reached Sarajevo, a Serbian nationalist rushed out into the street and shot both Ferdinand and Sophie at point-blank range, instantly killing them. The killing sparked outrage, with Austria demanding an unconditional apology from Serbia. Although Serbia condemned the killing, they refused to apologize as they hadn't had anything to do with the act. What happened next was entirely unpredicted. It started with Austria declaring war on Serbia for refusing to apologize. Russia immediately jumped to its allies' defense by declaring war on Austria. Germany, Austria's ally, declared war on Russia, and France and Britain, both Russia's allies, declared war on Germany. Number 5. The Woodrow Wilson Flu. President Wilson, rallying for fewer punitive damages on Germany before the Treaty of Versailles, ended up playing no active part in the Treaty of Versailles negotiations after being struck down by 1918's Spanish flu. Without his persuasive influence, the treaty imposed harsh restrictions on Germany, which led to its total economic collapse. Much German bitterness followed the ruling, and the German public decided they needed a strong leader to take charge. The leader was the dictator who later started World War II. Had Wilson been present at negotiations and succeeded in awarding fewer punitive penalties to Germany, the world might be different. Wilson's flu caused a butterfly effect that had severe repercussions. If you've enjoyed it so far, hit the like button. It really helps me and the channel, and it's completely free. If you feel like giving an extra boost, the thanks button is also available. Thank you. Number 6. Doggone politician. The 1950s. Charlie Wilson's pet dies in Texas after city councilor Charles Hazard feeds it food mixed with glass. Wilson gets his revenge by persuading the public to vote against Hazard in the next city election. Afterward, he decides to start a political career himself, becoming a senator at the young age of 27. Many years later, Wilson lobbied to support the rebels in Afghanistan. Due to his support, the U.S. filtered funds through Pakistan, training troops who later defeated the Soviets. After 2001, a radical faction of those rebels attacked the United States, killing thousands of Americans. Charles Hazard's killing of Charlie Wilson's pet started a butterfly effect that has sent shockwaves around the world. Number 7. Ducked and Run. Covert operatives who broke into the DNC headquarters at Washington, D.C.'s Watergate complex in 1972 made a mistake that set off a chain reaction that rocked the world. One of the operatives stuck a piece of duct tape onto a door lock to prevent it from locking. An alert DNC security guard noticed the tape and opened the door to investigate further, catching the operatives red-handed. In the wake of the ensuing Watergate scandal, President Nixon resigned from the Oval Office, with a single piece of duct tape and the butterfly effect changing the U.S. president. Number 8. Stan the Man. In 1983, the Soviet early missile warning system disrupted Lieutenant Colonel Stanislav Petrov's shift, reporting a single missile launch from U.S. territory, and Petrov dismissed the warning as a computer error. During the same shift, the computer system reported 4 more launches. Still, Petrov chose to ignore these 2, assuming that an actual U.S. missile strike would indicate thousands of similar launches. The Soviet Union didn't blow up, so Petrov's decisions were proven correct. The following day, technicians discovered that the Soviet missile tracking computer system had malfunctioned, vindicating Petrov. Stanislav Petrov's decision and the butterfly effect averted a nuclear war. Number 9. Let them eat cake and everything else. Following the monarchy and noblemen's executions during the French Revolution, several skillful French chefs that had worked for the wealthy lost their jobs. With limited options available to them, these chefs began to open their own restaurants. The rest of Europe started doing the same, but the experts were all French, and classical French cuisine's reputation was born, with classic French restaurants still dominating the fine dining world. The revolution began the butterfly effect, which changed the culinary world. Finally, let's go back to nature where we started. Number 10. The snow is falling. A small clump of snow breaks off on top of a mountain cliff and falls into the snow below. As other snow dislodges, the momentum builds, causing an avalanche that destroys trees, rocks, and every other living thing in its path. The avalanche affects families, homes, and nature, and is a prime example of the butterfly effect at work. It's safe to say that every action, no matter how small, causes a reaction of some sort. The butterfly effect started when time began, and it never stops, with every change at any given time, up to the present, resulting in even further change. From these handful of examples, it is clear how fragile the world is, and how dire the effects of tiny events can be on starting conditions. We like to think we can predict the future and exercise a degree of control over powerful systems, such as the weather and the economy. Yet the butterfly effect shows that we cannot. Thank you for staying until the end. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the like button to show your support, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel with the bell, so you don't miss out on content like this. See you in the next video.